depending on what time you're seeing this. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. So I said I'm going to share a platform where you can upload your classworks and upload your assignments, and this will make it easier for me to be able to track everybody's work. So the platform you'll be using for that is called GitHub. Okay, it is called GitHub, and we use GitHub for version control. This document over here, this is my front-end foundation guide, so I'll be reading from it. As you start to build projects, you inevitably make mistakes. There's no way you start building really large projects, writing large amounts of codes, and you will not make mistakes. It is inevitable. Now, if you make that mistake, how do you go back to your previous version? Let's say your code was working 2 hours ago and you made a change now and everything just scattered. How will you go back to that your previous version? That is where version control comes in. And when you want to collaborate with other developers, other programmers, how do you collaborate with them? Will you invite them to your house and then you'll be sharing your laptop? No, that is also where version control comes in. So the platform we use for version control is called Git and GitHub. There are many other platforms for version control. I'm going to attach a link in the description, and it is a video about version control that I made on my TikTok, so you can just get a quick understanding of what it is. So there are other tools for version control, but what a lot of people use is called Git and GitHub, and that's what you'll be using to submit your assignments and your classwork. So let's get into it. Understanding version control and why it matters. Imagine working on a school project, constantly saving new versions. Project V1, project final, project final, final. We all do this stuff, okay? You are working on the documentation for your final year project. You have made so much mistake, and you see that you have saved up to like 5 PDFs with different name, but the same content, just a few changes. Okay, that is manual version control. Git automates this, tracking every change you make to your code. So Git solves the problem of losing your work, difficult in collaborating, and not knowing who changed what. When you're collaborating with other developers, they'll definitely write code. If people are sharing the same code base, right? And they will definitely write code. Git allows you to know, okay, who wrote this code, and stuff like that. So let's look at a quick definition of what Git is. Git is a free, open source, distributed version control system. It handles everything from small to very large projects with speed and efficiency. Okay, so Git allows us to view every version of our code, whether you're working on a small project or you're working on a large project. Okay, and Git is fast and efficient. It allows you to track changes in your files, go back to previous versions, and work collaboratively. Like I said, when you're collaborating with someone, you won't invite them to your house and you people will be sharing your laptop. No, you need a platform that makes working together easy, and that is where Git comes in. And then we have GitHub. GitHub is a platform you can go to, like Twitter, like Facebook. But Git is a tool. Git is a tool that helps you track changes in your code, in your project. But GitHub is a platform that you can see that code that you have been working on, that you have been making changes. Okay, so that's just a quick difference. Now let's look at GitHub. GitHub is a web-based platform that provides hosting for software development and version control using Git. You can see they're related, Git and GitHub. Git is the tool that you use to track the changes in your code. GitHub is the platform where you upload that code that you have been making changes in, and it is also there that you see, okay, this is who I'm working with. It's the interface right? It is the interface that you see. So GitHub is a platform for software development and version control using Git. So now that we have gotten a good understanding of what Git and GitHub are, we are going to create a GitHub account. Okay, we are going to create a GitHub account. I already have a GitHub account, so I'm just going to share. I'm just going to show you guys what you need to do. So in your browser, head over to Git and search GitHub. In your browser, search for GitHub. Now, when you search for GitHub, it's going to bring this up. Okay, so you can go to create account. Oh, let's see. Good. Now, if you don't have an account, this is GitHub's landing page. This is GitHub's landing page, and you see sign in, you see sign up. So you can just go to sign up. Now, when you get to sign up, you are going to see this interface. So you just need to enter your email, your password, your username. Please enter a reasonable username. Don't go and be writing Pablo Richie. Don't go and be writing Pablo Richie. If your name is Nafisa, maybe you want to write something that relates with coding, you can put Nafisat code, or you can even put your full name. Don't make it one long name. Oh. Maybe your name is Nafisat Abdul, you can write Nafisat Abdul, but make sure it is something that makes sense. Don't be writing Pablo Richie. Okay, and then you select your region. I think Nigeria is available, yes. So you select your region. If you're living in Madagascar, select it, and then that is it. So once you're done creating your account, I believe it's going to sign you in. Good. So once you're done, it's going to sign you in, and this is the GitHub interface. Okay. Now when you're on this interface, you're going to see this new over here. If you can see this dashboard, you're going to see new. So I want you to click on it. And then after clicking on it, right, now you're going to create a repository. Now, a repository is where you store things, okay? A repository is where you store things. In this context, we want to store code. So a repository is where you store things that you can later go back to view, go back to get. So in this context, we want to create a repository for code. So you're going to create your repository name. Another thing, give it a reasonable name. Okay, since you are just starting, but still give it a reasonable name. So I'm going to write project one. Okay, I'm going to write project one. If the name of your project is, maybe you name your project Touchlight, excuse me, you can write Touchlight there. If the name of your project is bread, you, you can write bread there. So once GitHub shows you that the repository name is available, then you can go on to write description. Maybe for this description, I'm going to write learning HTML. Okay. And then for the configuration, you can see it shows choose visibility. Now your repository can either be public or it will be private. When it is private, you are the only person that can view it. And maybe if you add other collaborators to the repo. But if it is public, everybody can view it. Anybody can visit your repo and view your code. So I'm just going to leave this on public. And then once you are done, you can create repo. Once you have created your repo, you are going to have this interface. Okay, you're going to have this interface, and this one is showing you a quick setup for your project. A quick setup for your project. That is if you wish to use the command line. Like I said, Git is a tool. All these things, I know they are new to you, but you can learn them. Okay, you can learn them, but I won't be touching it in this tutorial. So what we are going to be using is we are going to be using drag and drop. You look at this quick setup box, you can see get started by creating a new file or uploading an existing file. Remember that folder we created, that front end folder, for those of you that were in the first class. We created a front end folder and we created a HTML file in that folder. So what we are going to be doing is we are going to upload that folder. So you click on upload an existing folder. Then you can choose files. So click on choose files. Now remember that we created that front end folder. For me, I created my own on my desktop. So if you created yours in document, you will navigate to document and go and select your folder. If you created yours in downloads, you will navigate to documents and go and select your folder. Hold on, let me just look for it. Okay, good. Now this is my own. This is my own over here. So I'm going to open this and then I'm going to select index because I'm actually uploading a file. So I'm going to select this index file. So you can see it is uploading. So once your file has successfully uploaded, you are going to see it here and you can even add extra files. But for this class, for this tutorial rather, I'll be adding only this index.html. And then you have a commit message. Now, a commit message is a message that you add to your uploaded code, right? So it is like a message reminding you of what you did to that code. Let's say I go back to this index.html and I added a link tag, right? For my commit message, I can write added link tag. So your commit message is something that's meant to be meaningful so that when other people that are viewing your code, when they see your repo, they can understand where to start working from, especially if you're collaborating. So for this commit message, I'm going to write uploaded index.html. Okay, your commit message can be anything. Make sure it matches that change that you made. So I'm just going to write uploaded index.html and commit. So once you write your commit message and you click on commit, your interface is going to update and your repo is going to show you something like this. Okay, this means you have successfully uploaded your file. Okay, so now once you upload it, you can share your repo with me by clicking on this code button, and then you will just copy the link here and then you can send it to me. Okay, you can send it to me. So this is how you are going to be sharing your assignments. This is how you are going to be sharing your classworks for me to have better tracking. Git and GitHub is a whole lot. Even me myself, I'm still, learning some things. We learn every day, Sha. So this is just a basic introduction to it.